And we are live and back in the room again for another ladies' room, final one for the week. Good morning again, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yes, we are live. So I'm just give you guys a couple seconds to come on into the room so we can get the show on the road because we got a nice topic for y'all today. Yesterday was so good. I sat down. As a matter of fact, when I went home, I looked at the entire live again, and I saw it. I was in tears. The men came out yesterday. They came out. They showed up yesterday. Like yesterday was International Men's Day. Y'all weren't taken too kindly to that survey, right? So see how we feel when we have to deal with it in reality. So they showed up. They really showed up yesterday and defended themselves. They weren't too happy with yesterday's yesterday's topic. Bevan Charles, good morning. Rachel Samuel, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Come on into the room. Let me just share. Let me just share. Let me see what's in Kareem in the corner there. I find you looking kind of. Let's see if maybe we had a light in the corner. Hold on, I'll tell you if you're good. I think we are. So yeah. So we have a nice scenario for y'all today. So I'm gonna. Are you muted? Yeah. So then I'm gonna give Kareem the opportunity to tell y'all what the topic is. So again, good morning, Candy. Good morning, Judy and Nichelle. Mondel, good morning. Della, good morning. Wendy. Camillus, good morning. Wayne. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So,
you ready for me?
I'm ready for you.
Right. So here's what we're dealing with today. Can you give your spouse or significant other too much information? I'll take it again. Can you give your spouse or significant other too much information? Now here's what happened. A young woman and her guy finally committing to each other and moving in together. So he wants her to put everything on the table about her life and he'll do the same. She divulges that once she had an erotic experience with another woman many years before she met him. And now he's angry. He calls her a freak and that other word.
It's a lesbian, you can say it.
And he stated
You're even afraid to say the
that
word.
he
Jeez.
and he stated that he just doesn't feel the same way about her. One more time.
So,
So the young woman and a guy are finally committing to each other and they decided to move in together.
mm-hmm.
So he wants her to put everything on the table about her life, and so will he.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells him that once she had an erotic experience with another woman
Mm-hmm.
many years before she met him. Now my man angry. He called her a freak, called her a lesbian, and he stated that he just doesn't feel the same way about her anymore. So the question is, can you give your spouse too much information?
I need Sheena again today.
You need your troops today again?
I only had one. Yesterday, y'all men flooded the room yesterday. I only had
Yesterday,
one.
all it was fishing, but they don't catch nothing.
No, we weren't fishing. We weren't fishing.
nothing
Yeah,
yesterday.
you all were the ones fishing to find out where women really stand. But that was yesterday. Now today, you're asking the question and you're answering the question. There's a question and answer right there. So, don't do it. That's my advice. Do not do it. Men ask for things they cannot handle. Experience. Man say be open, put everything on the table. No smart woman worth her salt is gonna tell a man every single little, and no man shouldn't ask a woman for every single detail of her life. What does not affect you should not concern you. Yeah, there are things you will tell him, you know, what. Certain things as a woman, by now, if you don't know in 2021, that they say honesty is the best policy, it's supposed to be, but in a lot of instances, it's better you say nothing. Plead the fifth, the right to remain silent. I'll pass on that question. Next. Because y'all ask for things, and when you get it, you see the end result. So Miss in Love Man interested in her, let me be open 100, tell him every single detail, down to having an experience with another woman, and he can't handle it. No, she's freak and she's this, she's lesbian. Why are you asking? That is the problem I have with y'all. Y'all ask for things that you know you don't have chest to handle. You don't have enough hair on your chest to handle. So until you grow some hair on your chest and you can be a man and handle certain things, certain situations.
But let me ask you this though. How do you filter the information that you're telling him?
I mean, how you filter? You know your truth, you know your story, you tell him what you think he needs to know on need to know basis. You don't need to know everything, and if you need to know everything, we have a problem. Why do you need to know everything? The most important things is just like journalism, school. Who, where, when, what, why. Who, where, when, what, why. And you decide which one and how much in each one you divulge. You can't tell people everything. People can't handle everything. They tell you to be honest. They tell you to be open. They want a book. They want you to be transparent, and then they take that same book and throw it back in your face and beat you with it. Some things you don't need to speak on. That is your truth. That is for you to deal with. If it is, well, homeboy decides, okay, that is a deal breaker, then go your way rejoicing. Go your way rejoicing. If that's a deal breaker and a woman not divulging certain things to you makes you uneasy or uncomfortable, then all right, cool. It was nice knowing you.
But you see, what if it's information that, for example, right, you kept back the information, so we all decide to keep the relationship going and whatever. Later down the road, you have to hear from somebody or John Public that
that is you
X and
and
Y
John
happened.
Public business. I care
How I
zero.
supposed to feel about that?
And that is a problem. We care too much about John Public. Are you interested in the young man or the young lady or not? Yes, there are some things you will take from John Public, but you also have to take what you get with a pinch of salt. You decide, okay, you know what? If what John Public has more weight than this person that I'm seeing before me, wait.
But you see, it's
wait.
not about more weight because you kept the information, eh? So how
But
do
it's my
I
information.
cannot compare the information because you kept it.
But
so
it's my
I don't
information.
know.
That is
so
my
all I'm
right.
saying is it's harder to take it. It's harder to hear it
Hold
from
on,
John
hold on,
Public
hold
first.
on. Listen, you and John Public. Hello?
Yeah, morning then.
Morning time. What go?
I do.
Tell us.
Tell you to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
You're being typical woman. That
I
lot
have
of
to be a woman? Who you want me to be?
No, well, yeah, typical. That is somewhat selfish. And I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
Just as how Karim explaining this later on.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't worried about John Public. It's the fact that I would have asked you to divulge everything. And you would have kept what you choose to keep. Right?
But isn't that my right?
Well, if we're in a relationship and I ask you to be honest with me, I think it's also my right for you to be honest with me.
Yeah, but it's my right to decide if I wish to divulge certain things or I wish to speak on certain things. If you can't handle it, then you have a choice as well. It's your right to say, okay, I can't handle this.
And that is what we're saying. At least give us the opportunity to make the choice.
But not everything you want to speak on. How about respecting my right on privacy?
Whether we can handle it or not, and that is the reason for asking the question. Is because there are certain things that people don't, or persons don't like,
Okay.
or they have an issue with.
Okay, so homegirl divulge everything. Homegirl tell him down to the color she sold.
Yeah.
And listen what he did. Turned around and used it against her, calling her names, calling her all sorts of names.
He's being emotionally weak. Now that is a fault that he has, and I can fault she for that. He's being weak at that point. But she did the right thing by telling him everything. You
The
understand?
right thing for who? For her or for him?
Well, it's the right thing for her too, because later on it could be an even worse situation where that they get married, and he finds out and is a holy bachelor because he still can't handle it. You understand? So it would save you stress later on.
But what is stress that has nothing to do with you?
Well, look at how he reacted to her telling him that.
Prior
Imagine
to you,
if he heard it
eons
somewhere
ago,
else.
months, years ago, nothing to do with you, and absolutely.
Exactly. So he has a serious issue with that. And nobody can fault him for it, but it's a good thing that she tells him. So instead of going down the road, way down the road, children, house, land, tie up, no. Tell me no and let me end it at now.
But see, that's a problem. That's where maturity steps in, because my thing is, everybody doesn't come into a relationship squeaky clean and perfect beings,
You don't have to.
right?
But you
Now,
should be
if
honest when the person asks.
so if we're being honest, and I tell you my story, and apparently my story doesn't add up with what John Public's story is, and
No,
you
no,
choose to deal with John Public, how is that my problem?
no,
If you're being honest, and I tell you everything, all right, we disclose everything, full
Right.
disclosure. Do we get that across the board?
No. You can't listen to John Public in it. The conversation is between me and you. If you're being honest with me, I expect you to be honest with me, so I'm taking you for what you say. Now, if I find out something different later and it's proven later on, whether or not John Public tell me or you come back and tell me, and I have an issue with it, then the fault would be yours.
Well, it's a fault for me not telling you my business.
Not your business. We're starting a relationship. We
But
need
it's
to get
still my
together.
business, so we don't have privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy
But-
goes out the door when you reach in a relationship.
When we're looking to get married, we're joining the union. It's no longer me or you, it's us.
We ain't reached marriage yet. The man didn't even talk about
No, because they're moving in and they're starting,
Listen.
That's what I'm trying to say. They
based on the scenario, then people ain't even moved nowhere yet. You ain't even look as though they go on a good date yet.
Well, but I say it's always best. I always think that you deal with it fully and get it because nobody really wants Captain back.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
All righty. I'm pulling the devil's tail this morning. I mean, can you handle it? Somebody says any man that has a problem with that is not a man. He should be glad his woman has that side because someday he might be lucky to have that experience with her and others. Hold on.
Right now, I early this morning. My take on that today, I have an issue with anybody I'm dealing with or any relationship. People want to know about your past. I have an issue with that. My past is my past. Your past is your past.
Well,
We
man
deal with the
speaking this
present and the
morning.
future. Because a lot of times, people want to know your past or what happened in your past to use it against you or throw it back in your face. So I seriously have an issue with that. And any woman here I dealing with or coming to me and inquiring about my past, you better keep passing because my past is my past. And make it worse if it was not in the picture before, keep passing. You understand? Because them things is baggage and that does create issue. So we ain't going down that road. And for my man, if you know you have a freak in the house, well, he's a fool. You understand? Because if you know you have a freak in the house, well, freak too. Make the relationship more enjoyable. But anytime I see female or male want to know about people past, that is an issue right there. Let it keep passing.
Pass fast. I like that. Keep passing. How is that? I mean, like I said, there are things you need to know. The who, where, when, what, why. You can't just go in a relationship and you don't ask questions. You're getting to know the person. But when you're insisting on them getting like deep, I have an issue with that. Because here is the example. She told him, hooked up with somebody else. And homeboy calling her freak and making her look as though she's some kind of bad, crazy person. I mean, I can understand if you don't agree with it. It's not your cup of tea. It's not your lifestyle. Everybody gravitate toward different things. But the name calling and the disrespecting because she did something that you don't like. So, in a sense, she sort of dodged a bullet. Later on down the road. Morning.
Hi, morning.
Morning,
Arun
morning.
and Kareem.
Morning.
I wanted to listen to other people before I called. And something I have to say, I realize a lot of your ladies' room discussions, it always makes me think that we don't take the time to really get to know each other in the dating phase. Like, we're so caught up in the infatuation and the butterflies, like we don't look past, Lord, is this person really for me? Because what I'm trying to say, so my girl never really, the conversation of threesome never really come up for she to get how we feel about it before she just opens she mouth and talking about, yeah, I did a threesome years ago. You know, you never get like he's a person like he look down on them things or he like them things or he wouldn't mind them things. Or like you never get that from him to know where you see that secret he going in the grave. Because at first I was like, you know what? We ain't telling man nothing. Some things you had to go to your grave with. And then I'm like, if you have a partner and you realize this is a person I could be honest with. I could tell that person, you know, babe, years ago I had an abortion. Years ago this happened to me. Years ago, you
No
realize
judgment-free
somebody.
zone.
Yeah, but you have to get to know that person to realize before you could take that step with them. So, like, we doesn't get to know people. We doesn't sit down and listen to man talk and realize, oh Lord, I can't tell that man I do that. I can't tell that man I used to smoke weed. Like, you know. And then it come up about if he find out. Omission is not really dishonesty, you know. You didn't come and ask me a specific question. You understand?
Wow.
So when the
She know you could go into law.
Wow.
She know you're the wrong calling. She know you're the wrong calling. You need to go in law. I think you're in the wrong calling. Did you ask a specific question?
Exactly.
Or you just ask me to be open? Just tell me about, like somebody would say, tell me about yourself.
And I am being open.
I choose what I tell you. You don't get to tell me what I should say. You don't know. If you ask specific questions, that's why I always say to people, ask specific questions. Ask what you want to know or need to know. Be specific.
So the way the first caller made it seem as if get it out of the way, nah, that's not fair. Like if it come up after from John Public and you feel like, well, the girl didn't tell you that. You didn't specifically ask her that and she lied for you. That was just a private part of her life she chose to
Not
keep
to
for
divulge.
herself. And men do that all the time.
So don't even start.
Exactly.
Don't even start it.
Have a good day.
Nah, she not need to go in law, I swear. That's what you call a good defense attorney right there. You hire Sheena to defend you and you're sure to get away. Sam says she's on the phone again. Someone says, I recently made that mistake. Never ever tell the new about the old. They will never let it go, and some men just can't handle the truth. No matter how much they say they can, they can't. Someone says, omission is deceit. Just say you don't want to tell him. Yeah, but how could you just say you don't want to tell him what? Sam, make it make sense. Sam, call in Sam and make it make sense. How is it deceit? How do you just say you don't want to tell him? Did he ask you could tell somebody you don't want to tell them if they ask a specific question. But big head Sam, if somebody say to you, tell me about yourself, and I choose what to tell, how is that deceit? So you're saying somebody saying tell us, I mean, from the time I born, from the time I have to tell you which tree my neighbor string tie under, what was the first word I say, what was my first meal I cook, what was my first.
You see, hold on.
Like,
Stop right there.
I still have to decide what it is I'm gonna tell you.
There are levels of information.
Okay, so what you want to know?
There's the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary.
So then ask what you need to know.
Right?
Be specific.
But there are certain things. Of course, I don't want to know, like, you know, what was your favorite crayon growing up or them kind of thing there. But there are some significant phases of your life, some important parts of your life that if you want the relationship to continue, you can't really leave them thing out. You understand? You have to bring it and bring it up early so that you could see the reaction or whatever. I mean, the thing about asking them how they feel, like tricking them kind of, so you ask them, you know, how you feel about abortions and thing, and then if they say yes or whatever, you know if to tell them or not. That is a good trick to have in the bag. But to just totally decide that you're leaving out these important phases of your life if you want the relationship to continue, it's going to be worse. Either two things are going to happen. Either one day you're going to hear it from a third party and you're going to be in your feelings because the first thing you're going to say is you didn't tell me that. Or secondly, when you want to take the next step, right? And then you decide to bring it up now. What if I don't like it? We spend all the money on ring and wedding and all of that. What if you choose to bring it up then?
But
and then we have to watch all of that
who
go
is
down
it
the drain.
important to? If it's something that I choose not to remember, it's a bad memory. It's something that does not make me feel good about myself. It brings up bad memories and makes me feel.
Listen, if the relationship gonna continue into that serious phase.
Morning.
Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to your program, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should sing a song. She may be somebody else released before, but she's my girl now.
I ain't hearing you. Tell me again.
Would you want to sing a song that somebody else before she's my girl now?
You went down.
No, would you want to sing a song? Did a song?
Mm-hmm.
you may be somebody else's lady before, but you are my girl now.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I will. John Public could talk, they could say what they want to say, they could try blood. That's their business.
The man of them lifted my nose this morning, boy. I thought I come in here to battle.
My girl would be my girl and not John Public girl.
Well,
like that.
thank you so much, caller.
You're welcome.
You hear that, Karim? You
My thing is not really the
sound
John
older
Public
than you
part
too.
of it.
You sound older than you too. So listen
that
and
had
learn.
nothing to do with it. My thing is not really the John Public part.
What is the part?
Right? The point I am
You were
trying
the one
to make.
who raised.
Hold on.
You were the one who
Hold
said,
on.
"What about you?" Keep on harping on if you find out from John Public. So how is it
Yeah.
not about John
And
Public
it's
now?
Not that, no, but it's not that you really care about what John Public is saying. The point I'm making is that it's harder for you to accept something if you hear it from John Public
But you
first,
say it's
and
not
then I approach
important.
you,
So
and
why?
then you say, yes, it is true. It is harder for me to accept it because I want to hear everything from you first.
But
That is
if
my
it
point.
is not important, Kareem,
Anything
is
about
it,
you is important.
Why is it harder to accept if it's not important what John Public says? You are contradicting yourself bigly.
Nah.
If it's not important, let me take a phone call before you raise my pressure this morning. Good morning.
Is it?
Yeah, I want to call back and side with Carrie McGee. The scenario is not about John Public or whether or not this, what the man did.
I'm going on with this phone.
The issue is, could you give too much information?
Yes.
And is it right or is it wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Is it an issue to give too much information? It's not the issue whether or not the man constantly get done. It's a separate thing. A man, in my opinion, is immature. He really immature. But the thing is, you should be honest with the person about everything. If they ask whether or not they like it or they don't like it, you're supposed to be honest. That's why a woman doesn't like when I say, "Oh, it's me alone at it." Yeah, well, I will tell you because I don't want to hurt your feelings. You alone.
Wow. So you carry the fool further along. So you'll tell me no, but because you don't want to hurt my feelings.
Exactly. So we have to be honest.
Well, we don't want to hurt all your feelings too. So
No. Break us up now. Have it. Break us up now. Have it.
we don't want to hurt all your feelings either. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good one. You see the wickedness we have to deal with, right?
They know wickedness.
You see the wickedness we have to deal with on a daily basis. So you don't want to hurt my feelings by saying you have somebody else. But we're speaking about honesty. But you're trying to protect my feelings by not telling me you have other people or you're dealing with other people. So when I get to find out from the same John Public, what is the difference? Talk to me nice. To you? You just gone mute? What's going on with you?
Keep it rolling.
Talk.
I think about it
Talk.
now.
Ask what you want to know. Don't just expect somebody to give you their whole life story. So if you want to know something, ask. If a conversation come up, then that's a different story. But don't just expect that when somebody meets you and they're getting serious, that they're going to tell you everything. Because you're not going to tell them everything. So be real.
But how
The
could
question-
you possibly ask?
The question.
How could you possibly ask if you have no idea? So I'm just gonna write down 10 and say, have you ever had an abortion? Have you ever had a threesome? Have you ever
Yes.
had two men
Yes.
at the same time?
Yes.
Have you ever
Yes.
really?
Ask. Yes.
How?
Oh, you mean how? Just like you did it. Like how you just did it. You do it the same way.
What if I ask you one of them questions and you get offended?
That is my problem if I get offended. But you ask. You ask. You ask clear, precise questions. So nothing. If I choose to get offended, that's on me.
But what if it's something out of this world though that I
It
didn't
is a
even think that you
question.
would do?
It is a question. Ask. Let me respond. Or
Interesting.
choose not to respond.
Interesting.
That's what questions are for. Ask a question. Someone says past tense is past tense, but in chatting the way forward, if you decide to go on that really serious level, then I guess it's best to be open on everything. As for me, I ask specific questions to get the answers because as a man, based on who a woman was involved with before, I do not want. Simple. According to my friend Jason Nutmeg Award, You ask specific questions, and that is the problem we have. And that will be the number one cause of the demise of relationships. Communication. People are afraid to ask questions. Ask the hard questions. Y'all need to start looking at Steve Harvey and Dr. Phil some more. Ask the hard questions, the uncomfortable questions. Ask them if you are interested in a person and you want to go the long way or extra mile or wherever you want to go. Ask the questions. What is this fear of offending or hurting feelings or whatever? Ask the questions. Ask specific questions. This is what you want to know. You're not asking on behalf of anybody else. You are the one getting involved with the person. You want to know about their past relationship with Tom, Jack, Kareem, whoever it is. You want to know their take on politics, who they support.
Listen,
you want to know how they feel about children, no children. You want to know how they feel about toys in the bedroom. You want to know if they've used toys in the bedroom. You want to know if they've had interactions with other people in the bedroom. You want to know those things. Ask those questions.
Sweating. Listen something. That can't work, because think about it, right?
It cannot work, Kareem.
Hold on. We are saying, listen what we're saying, right? We're saying that we should get to know these things early up in the relationship. You think about it, right? You on a first couple of dates with somebody.
The best time to ask.
And they're asking you these kind of questions.
The best time to ask, so you know not to waste my
making you
time.
uncomfortable across the dinner table. Instead of you waiting till you're comfortable and you volunteering the information. That's better.
We don't have to be dinner table. We could sit down on the beach somewhere. You could come by me. I could.
Really? So we sit down on the beach.
Are we talking?
I'm watching the sunset and
Kareem,
I just say so.
So what is the purpose? Lord.
No.
We need to have a dating school in this place.
No,
Yes,
but
Kareem,
what
and
if I make you very uncomfortable with these kind of bombshell questions,
Kareem,
though?
that is my problem. That is my issue to deal with. If I'm uncomfortable, then I'll let you know I'm uncomfortable. But that should not be the reason you don't ask the questions that you need to know about, and then get mad at me when you just open it to, okay, tell me about yourself. And I choose what to disclose, and you get mad if you find out along the way. Did you ask me about that along the way, how I feel about that? No, you didn't. I am the one who chose to disclose certain things and chose not to disclose certain things. So if you want to be afraid of how I would react, then we're wasting each other's time. This is what dates are about. Dates shouldn't be about how quickly you could take people's clothes off. It should be finding out about each other. Let us talk. But it seems these days dates are about how quickly we could get into bed, how quickly we could swap spit. And it's not about how much I can get to know about you before we make that step into the bedroom. We can't have sex first and then ask questions after. And that is what we're doing. And then you find out things and you're uncomfortable with it after. Be uncomfortable from the onset, so then you know, is it worth my time? Should I continue with this relationship with this person because this is how they feel about certain things and I'm not comfortable with it, so this person is not for me. Let's get it out of the way from jump. Communication is the problem. We don't ask questions. We want to monkey around, play monkey trick, play the fool, and then you hear something by the way, and then you want to come at me with what you hear by the way. Then you're going to have to deal with you and John Public. Y'all could be together. Don't stress me about it. You weren't interested to ask because you wanted to ask, but you didn't. So don't wait for John Public to come for you to come stressing me. No. Morning.
You know, I said I wasn't going on board all it. You're calling my name. Don't call my name. You see, you're calling my name. I don't want you calling
Call your name anytime I feel like. Call the police.
Don't call my name.
Call the police.
It's people like all that are making Papa God want to come back for you all fast.
You could come all now because I'm fed up with all you already.
It's people like all that are making Papa God want to come for you.
Well, he could come already. I'm fed up with you and everybody.
Yeah. Because all this spoiling Papa God world. You come back sooner than you want to.
No, you could come now already.
No, all this spoiling the world. And you're taking advantage of this young man. You're taking advantage of it because you're beating him up like a bully and you can't defend yourself. You understand? Pick on somebody your own size.
Come now.
Pick on somebody your own size.
You come, so come.
You're taking advantage of the youth man. The youth man don't know, with all due respect to me, don't know experience. The man still have the milk on his face. So let me help him out. I go help him out now.
Talk Marcel, I have time.
I will defend the species. Let me tell you something.
The world wasn't built in a day. God, and who is God and all his might, takes 7 days to create this thing. Why you want to meet somebody and just you want to get? You sound like if you want to get married the next morning.
It happens.
That's that Hollywood thing. You understand? We had to stop that. We had to stop that. It's years not having all of that shipping is all. We had to stop that.
We had to stop that.
You understand? What happened to taking your time, getting to know the person?
Exactly.
Things will fall into place. Things will fall into place. But all you just want to play, and I say all you always want to play private eye, Matlock. Jessica, what's she name? Jessica Lansbury, Mother She Wrote. Okay, guys all just want to be sometimes, all you have to chill out.
Want everything in one go. Sit down and tell me about yourself.
All you have to chill out, you have to chill out. And young man, stop playing that girl beat you up too. That girl beating you up. Take some from that girl beating you up.
Have a wonderful day. I love you too. Have a great day. Thank you.
You see, you're using the word love to me. You don't see my face on the mountain. That's the problem.
I don't need to see your face. Have a wonderful day, sir. We gotta go, but let me see. I think I got another call. Hold on. Let me see if I can get 2 more. For instance, if I'm in a relationship with a woman and she does not want to divulge certain information with me, it could be that she has not reached that comfort level with me to let me know certain things at this time. We need to respect people's emotional time and give relationships room to breathe. What? Man and them real coming through for me this morning, boy. Somebody tell me to touch Karim head and see if he okay over there. Listen, he came into the room, so he had to step up. You had to put on the big man shoes. You had to step up. Otherwise, hey, I'm not gonna hold back to protect his feelings like he's trying to protect mine by not asking questions. That is his problem. If I want to know something about you, how you feel on certain things, I'm gonna ask you. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but hey, it sets the tone for the rest of the relationship. And that is why we end up in a lot of problems down the road, because we want to protect feelings and don't want people to be uncomfortable and don't want to offend. It's not offensive. You're not attacking. You're asking questions, general questions, and a bit to know the person. And you're not going to get everything all at once. Over time, certain things will come out. The more comfortable you get with a person, you start divulging more without even sometimes having to ask. You just open up and start speaking on certain things. So, like my friends say, slow all your roll. There's no rush. Like, y'all want to know everything about people the first time. Just sit down and just open up. Like a jamo, open up the door. Just open up and just say things. I saw 2 comments I want to read before we go. People are still individuals within a relationship. We still deserve the right to have our past respected. Unless the past is part of the present, then just respect the fact that you don't need to know everything from their past. Carlene, I have to start doing a petition to get you in the room here because I think we've been asking for a long time. Carlene says we are seeing too many couples turn against each other and release sensitive information to extort, and destroy each other after a breakup. I could raise my 5 fingers on each hand for that one. Trust me. You bare your soul to people thinking, okay, this is serious. A person genuinely wants to know about you. And later on, you're hearing about yourself. Not many people are genuinely interested in you and what you did and who you are and those things. Looking for things to use against you. So you have to be careful. I maintain you have to be careful what you divulge. Call me what you may, what you want. I am all for not divulging every single detail of your life. And I'm speaking here from experience. To anyone. Doesn't matter how genuine they are, how good they come, how sincere they sound. Use discernment. As you go along and they've proven that they're trustworthy and you've built something solid, maybe you can start to open up some more on certain things. But women, y'all could call me and label me however you wish. Do not divulge every single detail of your life immediately to no individual. Yeah? You're not even sure where you're going with the relationship yet. So as you move along, based on your level of comfort and this person prove themselves to be true and serious, then you open up accordingly. if y'all want to be the best there is and miss open and miss transparency and accountability, by all means, tell them we all in Eva Stringberry too. All right? And later on, don't come back in the room and ask us for no airtime to talk about how man do good and man this and man that. All right? Kareem, you have anything you wish to say before we go?
Nada. I see all you next week.
I know.
Yeah.
Nah, not a Two people I need to get in the room, Kellen Bob and Carleen Batiste. I'm putting y'all on the spot. All right? Carleen Batiste, by a show of hands in the room, we are nominating Kellen and Carleen. We want to speak on those things. And they are people who are not afraid to ask the questions or afraid of getting or offending people or them being uncomfortable to answer. So Kareem, whoever young lady you're dating with, I hope she's listening. There are things Kareem wants to ask you, but he's afraid that he will offend you. So maybe you can break the ice and open up a little bit to put Kareem at ease because he's afraid of offending your sensibilities. All right? So, until next week, we'll be back for another show. Thank you so much, everybody. As always, a pleasure having you here. And remember, the room came to you through the kind compliments of our friends at Beacon Insurance and the Western Union. They made today's room possible. Thank you so much. Catch you guys next week. All right?